Hello YouTube friends, Father Frank Pavone here. Great to be joining you again, and I certainly hope you're promoting our YouTube videos and letting everyone that you know and that you communicate with, letting them know that they can listen to me here through this medium and our other priests and pastoral associates here at Priests for Life. We love to make trouble, to stir up conversation and debate. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about elections, because we are in an election season, and it's critically important for us to understand, first of all, that we need to vote, and that we need to vote effectively to advance the kingdom of life, to advance the protection of life. A lot of people, though, look at the ballot on election day and they say, now I have a choice between bad and worse. I'm not satisfied with any of the candidates. I don't like any of the choices. And so some people feel like, well, maybe in a situation like that, I should not vote at all. Bad idea. It is not good to sit out an election. Because when you sit out an election, you're saying, okay, let the other people who are less convinced than I am decide who's going to be my leader. The people who are elected, they're going to be our president, our senators, our governors, our representatives in Congress. You're not going to let somebody else decide that for you. It's bad enough that somebody else already decided that the choices you have on election day might not be all that great. But what you can do with your vote at that point is at least to keep things from getting worse. In other words, if there's one candidate that's not so great and another one that's even worse, you can use your vote to limit the damage, to minimize the evil. You can use your vote, in other words, to keep the worst person out, even though you may not agree or like so much the person who's going to actually get in. Voting for somebody doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they stand for. It means that if you look at the situation and the other person is going to be even worse, then you use your vote to limit evil. Some people call this choosing the lesser of two evils. I don't think of it that way. I mean, we're not allowed to choose any evil, whether it's lesser or greater or somewhere in between. But if we take an action that limits evil, that's actually a good. That's a good choice. And so, brothers and sisters, don't miss out on your vote. And if your candidates on a particular race are not acceptable, if none of them is acceptable to you, that is, of the ones that are actually going to get into office, well, then choose the better of the two. Doesn't need to be a perfect one in order for you to vote. Choose the better of the two, and you'll be choosing to limit evil, which is, in fact, a good. One of the analogies that you might use to think about this is a train going down a track, a runaway train. And it's going to cause damage and casualties when it gets to the end of the track. You can't stop the train. But suppose you were able to switch the track and let it go down a track where at the end is going to be fewer casualties. Would you do that? The casualties are not your choice. That part of it is beyond your control. But if you choose to switch the track to where it's going to do less damage, you've chosen something good. You've chosen to limit the damage. Sometimes we have to think that way about our voting choices. Well, continue to come back, because we're going to be posting some YouTube messages as the election gets closer that are going to make a lot of people talk and think. So be sure to be with us, not only watching these videos, but promoting them to as many people as you can. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again soon.